Before we start, a tiny favor to ask.
If you're listening on Spotify, tap follow. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe.
It's free and it helps more individual novel fans discover these amazing creators.
Your clicks keep the lights on and the mics alive.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Otome Games podcast. I am Lover's Lens.
And I'm Morik. Today we're joined by the two developers behind At the Heart of Blackberry Manor, Emma the artist and Inês the writer. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having us. So I'm Inês, and I work as the narrative designer / writer for this project.
And I'm Emma, and I'm the artist.
We're glad to have you here.
For those who are new to your work, could you tell us how At the Heart of Blackberry Manor came to be?
So it started out as a fun idea we had, because we both love games, and we figured we wanted to do it together. And then when the opportunity presented itself, because of the school project, we took it.
And why did you choose visual novels in particular?
Well, I think it's because it really allows you to delve deeper in the story aspect of it, and we both love narrative and story-driven games. So this would be the perfect way to bring our story to the screen or to the game.
Is this your first time doing something like that?
Yes, it is.
Also, this is your first game?
Yeah, it's the first game, but I'm kind of envy we didn't have that kind of stuff in school.
Yeah.
What is this? I would love to do a game.
And for our listeners who haven't played the game yet, could you give us a short summary about the story?
Yes, of course. Well, you play as a young girl who's currently recovering from a heart transplant. You're sent to this lone manor surrounded by bramble and obscured by fog. You've also only called it home for a little over a month now. So you've already grown awfully bored of it. I mean, there's only so many ways a lady can entertain herself, after all. Your sole companion is also a physician named Victor, who's unlikely to open up his art to you just yet. He has been entrusted with your recovery, and you've led a fairly uneventful life ever since coming to this manor. However, the more you explore its grounds, the more oddities you encounter, and the more you come to realize that the whole place is somewhat shrouded in mystery. You've yet to uncover all of its secrets, including its owner, but can you discover what truly lies at the heart of Blackberry Manor before your departure?
So, classic mystery story.
Yes.
Victor is opening his heart. I wonder if he even has a heart. I don't know.
Oh. Interesting theory.
But we're gonna talk about it a little bit later. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. It's just
ever since you shared that with me yesterday, I know you
can't stop thinking about it, right? Yeah. So, as you mentioned, At the Heart of Blackberry Manor opens on a foggy hillside with a lonely manor, like the very Halloween vibe. We call this manor our new home. Our character has been under the care of this mysterious physician, Victor. But as we explore the manor, we start uncovering some different secrets, and we see that there's a lot of them in this manor. Mm-hmm. It's a very elegant and eerie premise, I must say. So I want to ask you, what inspired the story's tone and setting?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So we're both huge lovers of the atmospheres and different narratives that you can craft when it comes to the mystery genre as a whole. If you pair that up with the romance genre, you got yourself quite an alluring tone and setting for a story. I think there's a certain vulnerability when it comes to romantic stories that just contrasts so well with all the uncertainty a mystery story can offer. So they make somewhat the perfectly tragic pair for allure, intrigue, and just a whole bunch of secrets.
Especially when one of the mysteries you have to uncover is the love interest himself, who's quite mysterious in this game.
For some reason, the whole vibe of the game reminds me of this movie. It's called Poor Things. I don't know if you've watched it. It's
yes,
Emma
I've
Stone.
seen it before.
I don't know, but I got that vibe somehow from your game.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment. I love that movie, so...
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a
really good movie.
Morik, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it.
How did you say it's called?
poor things. It's kind of a Frankenstein story.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give it a watch, actually. I love
But
Frankenstein.
It's a different way of telling the story. It's very, very interesting. I love it.
No, I'm just, speaking of movies, I'm just slightly worried that the game might be going in a Crimson Peak direction. It already has the aesthetics down.
Ooh, that's also an interesting comparison. I like it.
There's just something distinctly gothic and romantic about the manor itself. It's reminiscent of classic novels, but there's this modern emotional touch to it. How did you balance between the mystery and the romance?
So, yeah, as you've surmised, like classic novels and other Gothic media, namely movies, were definitely an inspiration for me when designing the narrative and just coming up with the core plot points and themes of the game as a whole. Though I found it to be quite a slippery slope when it comes to finding that balance. Mystery is all about omitting some truths, subtle foreshadowing, and clever misdirections. There's just a lot of things to consider to not make it overly obvious what the reveal at the end will look like, but there also needs to be a certain amount of clues scattered around the narrative as well, as to not make it an unsolvable twist that kind of feels unsatisfying for the audience. So yeah, it was quite the hard work to make everything fit together nicely.
Interesting.
Honestly, games like these or books in the same genre, they make me wanna uncover the mystery before the main character does. So it's some kind of a competition in my head.
Yeah, it's like, okay, is this what's happening? Is this what's behind the scene?
I'm having... Yeah, continue, please.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to share that currently I'm reading some Brandon Sanderson books. And he's a master of the mystery lore thing going on in his stories. So my boyfriend has read all of his books, and I'm like trying to uncover what's going on. Like, listen, is this happening? Is that happening? He's like, I don't know. And waits for me to get to the end and see if my theory is right or wrong. And if the theory is right, I'm like, oh yeah, I won over the book. That's right. So I have the same feeling for your stories, because I had like a million theories in my head while I tested the demo, and I just want to ask you about all of them. But we'll get there. We'll get there. As you can see, I'm very interested in that. So first, we're gonna talk about the dynamic between the main character and Victor. So this dynamic feels very nuanced, and there's this quiet tension between them. They have mutual curiosity. So how did you approach building that relationship?
So we approached writing the blossoming romance between our protagonist and Victor in a way that doesn't completely overshadow the overall plot of the story, I would say. We're like... Showing, not telling has always been something we strongly took into consideration when crafting their narratives. We wanted them to be interesting characters on their own and not solely rely on their romance to make them interesting. Honestly, like, the story we're planning on writing could have worked out perfectly fine without them being romantically interested in each other. But we just thought it would fit nicely with the theme we're going for. And yeah, it always just adds an additional layer of emotional tone to a story overall, I would say.
Okay. And if we want to go, maybe you might tell me, or you might skip it, I don't know, but at first glance, Victor comes off as a kind and caring physician, but there is this very, very mysterious aura around him, and I feel like he might be hiding something. So can you go into a little bit of detail about Victor's character?
So, the fact that he's perceived as mysterious and alluring means that I've done well writing him, so thank you for that. Since his character is very closely tied to the very core of the narrative's mystery, there's unfortunately not much we can reveal about Victor himself besides the tidbits presented in the demo. So I would just say look forward to uncovering all his oddities and the reason behind his solitary lifestyle once the full game releases.
Okay.
Avoiding the question, I see.
Yeah.
No.
I'm joking.
As I
Don't
said,
worry
they have the full right to not tell me anything. I can
am
still ask though.
joking.
Yes, you're welcome to ask anything.
Okay, then what about the main character's backstory? Who was she before the heart transplantation and
Mhm.
going to visit and living with Victor?
Yeah, so our protagonist is just a young, ordinary girl trying to navigate her entry into young adulthood and just discovering herself, her preferences, and so on. I think that's like a very relatable thing for most of us. Yeah, unfortunately, misfortune kind of strikes her in the form of a heart illness, but this event also kind of leads her to a place where she can truly be herself without the watchful gaze of societal expectations, especially those of her mother, which was briefly mentioned in the demo and we'll dive into later in the story as well. You'll of course follow along her journey and influence it as she develops into a young woman by the end of the story. And yeah, akin to Victor, there's like still much to uncover about our lovable protagonist that we unfortunately cannot share.
Speaking about her mother, I got the idea that she's quite strict from the little comment she gave, the main character gave near the start about her corset. Am I
that's a
right
good
in
catch.
deduction that is that a correct deduction?
Yes, you're correct in that deduction.
I just wanted to ask if our main character has siblings.
Not necessarily, no. Not right now, at least. That can also change, but not right now.
Okay.
Okay, it makes sense for a single child having a lot of expectations planted on them.
Strict parents
Yeah,
as well.
strict
Yeah,
parents,
that's why I'm asking actually.
Yeah, that makes
Well,
sense.
Another question I have, you can skip answering it if you wanna, but are you planning to add more love interests in the game in the future?
Yeah, let's skip that one.
Okay.
I'll
I
leave you
was,
guys curious.
I was
We
biased in favor of that Otome she mentioned.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe. Who knows, right?
Okay.
You do. You know.
Well, other than us.
So, okay then, I'm not gonna torture you anymore. We're moving to the art and sound segment of our podcast. So, the art direction is just gorgeous. The colors are very soft. Everything is very moody. It has this pastel goth vibe. So, can you please walk us through your unique visual approach and influences?
Yes, and first of all, thank you so much for the compliments. I really appreciate it. So the art is very much inspired by Victorian art. So like the detailed, over-the-top designs and meanings and everything. But at the same time, we wanted to give the art of our game its own individuality. So, and personally also, I love details. It's perfect and it's so much fun to work on. So the art also really needed to fit the story we created so that they form one entity, which means that everything's coherent and that the player would be truly immersed in all aspects of the game.
It is really beautiful. I especially love the design of the main character.
Thank you.
How should I say it? Just that she does feel like she came out of that era, that almost Victorian era, I'd say, that Gothic aesthetic.
Yes, really happy you think so. We went through a lot of different designs to get to her. I don't even remember how many, but it took forever because I just couldn't nail down how to make her look like. But in the end, what we ended up on is we're both really happy with it. And I'm also happy with it. Yes.
I also have a question about Victor's design because something caught my eye when looking at him, but should I wait till the theory section? Yeah, I'll wait a bit.
Okay. I wanted to ask you for the UI design. I don't know if this counts as UI, but this little frames.
It's almost like a mirror, framed by vines.
Yeah. So how did you came up with the UI design? Was it entirely your fantasy, or you took inspiration from somewhere?
I'll be really honest. I think I was just sketching around and I came up with this idea and then I showed it to Inês and she was like, oh my god, yes, that's fun. So we just went with it.
It just makes everything so immersive.
Thank you.
Because it's the same as the backgrounds and the characters. It's just cohesive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just blends well. Like, you don't know where the UI starts and where the background ends and something like that.
Especially with the roses intertwining and the cherub angels.
Yes.
Very
Okay,
nice, very nice.
Speaking about the backgrounds, you gotta bring up the backgrounds. There's so much character to the environment, the brambles, the highly decorated rooms. They're so detailed, you can basically spend a good while just looking at all the small things. Tell us about how they came to be.
Yes, thank you. And wanting to look at it, that's exactly what we want people to do, because we both love background storytelling. It's a way for a viewer to explore what is being told to them, other than what's just written to you. And because of that, we wanted the backgrounds to feel embellished, to give the players the opportunity to explore these rooms on their own as well. And there is a lot of hidden clues, foreshadowing, and whatnot in the backgrounds. Because we wanted the environment / the house to also have its own personality. And that's why every room feels so distinct and like it's one of its kind and unique.
I need to look at it even more. There was one room, this kind of medical looking room.
Yes.
I remember details catching my eye there, and I'm like, were these just like little medical things they added because they look cool, or do they actually mean something?
Well, I can tell you that we thought about everything. Like, we didn't just add stuff just for the fun of it. Okay, maybe the UI was a bit for the fun of it, but like the backgrounds itself, we did think about like everything. Like it's thought through.
I appreciate that. I myself, I've worked in level design where we had to do a lot of storytelling with the environment you're making, so I completely understand where you're coming from.
Great. It's so much fun.
Honestly, the first thing I saw in Victor's room was the butterflies and the frames, and I was like, "Wow, this is a fun detail." And then you got it mentioned in the game, and I was like, "Come on, what is this?" I loved it. I loved the fact that I got everything explained. Like,
yes.
So you actually mentioned that at the heart of Blackberry Manor begins a school project, and that explains why everything is so detailed. And usually young people have more passion about stuff. That's the thing that we commented with Morik. That, like, dude, look at the difference when young people do something and like considerably older people do it. It's just different. You can see the difference in the time spent over the details and everything. Like, it's just different energy. Morik, you wanted to say
also
something?
think it kind of comes to one thing that I don't know if I should mention that, but it's because younger people don't understand scope creep yet.
Yeah, could be.
Yes.
I'm sorry for saying that, but it's a thing I've noticed.
It is true. Yeah.
That is true, but it's also like Emma actually scoped down when making those backgrounds. So
Oh, that's the scoped down version.
Yes.
Yeah.
How?
That's like, she's just incredible at art, to be honest.
Thank you. But yes, I had to be pulled back a lot with what I wanted to draw. Like, I had to constantly ask, hey, can I do this? He's like, Emma, that's too much. I'm like, no, I want to do more.
Yeah, okay, that
Then they do understand scope creep is just different approach,
this
I
is
guess.
what
I don't know.
Yeah, I had to give Emma her applause. She deserves it.
No,
Definitely.
thanks.
Good job. So we talked about your game, that it was actually a school project, and I wanted to ask you about the origin of it, how the game has evolved from the school project phase to the current form we have now in HEO.
So actually the game went through so we started the game before the school project sort of already, and back then it was like a lot different than it was right now. So it went through a lot of changes. And even in the beginning of the game, it was much more modern game. So we even had phones and technologies and all of that. But then and even the genre was like a completely different genre. But when we started working on it during like the school projects thing, we sort of realized that it wasn't translating well into the vision we had of it. So we did a complete reboot and started reworking the character, story, and art to its current form.
Oh, that's interesting. I do have to mention, a lot of people don't realize just how many modern aspects of our society just complicate is not the thing, but it changes the perception of things. If you, as you said, if you set a game in the 1800s, it's going to be a completely different vibe, and for a good reason.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, like we had modern technologies and it just became such a headache to figure out, and it just didn't fit what we wanted at all. So we realized that we had to change it up.
Yep. I recently watched a whole video. I'm not sure if you know the YouTuber Overly Sarcastic Productions, they're called. They made a whole video about how phones actually should impact the story way more than they usually do, because if you add them to a fantasy story as a magic item, or have in sci-fi as long-range communication, they should be changing the story a lot, because the ability to suddenly talk to someone at any range makes things different than having to travel a whole half continent just to clear up a misunderstanding, for instance.
True.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
And now when you mentioned that you started from scratch, rebuilding the story, I wanted to ask you, how much time did it take you to produce this demo that we have in HEO?
So for the school project, we had 5 months to fully work on it. But to be honest, for the first 3 months, we were very much figuring things out, how to do it. And we were working still with the old idea. And then when we realized we had to change it, it was like the 3rd month. So we did everything in, I think, about 2 months to to do it.
Okay.
That's fast.
That's fast. Quite nice. Great. Like, where did you draw energy from? What is this?
I think we were very lucky that we got to work, that we both like have very comfortable home, like rooms and like home situations where we can just work. And we also had on Discord, so we had each other's company the whole day. So yeah, I think it just became like, we're both very passionate about games and creating them. So it was just a lot of fun to like constantly work on it, because we had more ideas, and the more we created, the more we wanted to do. So it was like, I think the passion really drove us forward.
It's very beautiful. What are your dreams? What are you dreaming for? What are you aiming for in the future? What's the perfect end of story for you both?
For the video game, you mean? Like for the
video game. But if you want to share more,
if you don't want to become game developers, that's
I'm just interested in you as people.
Yes. Honestly, we're kind of tortured right now because we don't have time, and we have to go back to school and do like our school projects, and we have no time for this project anymore. So it's been a sad time for us.
Just waiting.
I just sincerely hope that you manage to finish your project, because I think this project deserves to be finished and not abandoned. It's something very new and unique as storytelling and art style and the visual novel world. And I believe that you have great future as a team.
Thank you so much.
So I just would love to see how things turn out for you guys. This is amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
That's so
I
sweet.
got inspired. Like I wanna finish this podcast and go learn something now. Like I just felt inspired.
There's this big diorama I've been making for a week. I need to finish it now. Great.
Beautiful. This is beautiful. So, getting back to your project, I wanted to ask you, can you please share to us what was your classmates' initial reaction when they saw your project? Did they like it?
Yes, we got a lot of excitement from our classmates. So far, like, everyone's been really happy to see what we're working on, and we still get very frequently asked, like, when the game is coming out or how it's going. Like, it's so cute to see everyone also, like, excited and invested into it.
This must feel very nice for you. probably.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. It's also pretty fun whenever they ask us for like an inside scoop because we're all friends, right? You should give us a little spoiler. But unfortunately, there's no favorites. I'm sorry, guys.
Nope. Yeah, come on.
I'm gonna try to get a spoiler by the end of this.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I'll probably fail, but if I get a theory correct and you confirm it, I consider that a win.
Could work out, yeah.
I also wanted to ask about the soundtrack. It really fits the atmosphere, especially some of the woven in piano pieces. Could you tell us more about your choice of music?
Yes. We also want to first and foremost say like a big shout out to all sound designers and composers for the work, putting their work out there for us game devs to use. That's amazing. We don't really know how to compose music at all, so we looked at like composers out there, and there's so many amazing people. But when looking, we really look for pieces that would fit the writing and atmosphere of the game. So once more, it all encompasses everything together as one package.
So you basically saw something that fits perfectly with the aesthetic that you've already made.
Yes.
I see. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, the music feels a little bit mysterious, just like the game. So beneath the mystery, there's such a strong emotional undercurrent running through the heart of Blackberry Manor. So what message or emotion do you hope players take away from your game?
Well, I would say, like, first and foremost, we would like to make our players intrigued with the mystery at the core of the narrative, of course. We would like them to be curious about both our lovely protagonist and Victor, and just, hold out hope to what will become of them by the end, how their individual stories will end up, as well as, how they even intertwine with each other and end up affecting how the narrative concludes.
So I guess we are moving to our favorite
theory
part
time
now. Yeah, it's theory time. Yeah. Go ahead, Morik. You first.
Okay. Yes. So my first theory was we get some subtle clues about Victor while we play. When you meet the MC makes a comment about his touch feeling very cold. And also about his pale complexion, and also it gets brought up that he has an aversion to garlic when she made tea for him. Is he a vampire?
Well, is he? I mean, a vampire Victor would be quite fun, wouldn't it? So that was actually a quite a common theory even amongst our friends who tested like the demo prior to its publication. And all I can say is, once again, when it comes to Victor, everything and anything can be revealed, so we leave that up to your interpretation for now.
God damn it.
She's hard.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. I know that you will probably skip answering my theory, but I need to share it.
Go ahead.
So I think what happened is that Victor is very interested in life after death because he's somewhat dead himself, and he's dead because he made the heart transplantation using his heart. Giving his heart to hers.
Wow. How did you know that? Did you look into our files? Whoa.
No, come on, you're joking right now.
I'm sorry. I'm pulling your leg.
Yeah, I can see that. But like yesterday while we were doing the script, like I'm writing the questions, and Morik, imagine if that's his heart inside her chest, and that's why he's very interested in her. What is this one? So
you also mentioned that outside of that, you also mentioned him just not having a heart, which... What about that? Is that correct?
Well, who knows? Well, I do, but...
I don't know.
I don't... I don't think... you're on a bad path going down that thought, you know? But again, it can be anything, really.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna
Okay.
ask
I'm so
after
sorry.
we stop the recording there.
Damn, I feel like... Oh man, I feel like I've disappointed everyone now.
No, I have one more question that might actually. So
They're not gonna tell us anything, Morek.
Well,
I'm
try your
trying to-
luck. Try your luck.
I'm trying my luck here.
Yes, I'd love to hear it. It's so fun.
This is about his character design, as I mentioned earlier.
Ooh.
Why does he has such a prevalent spider motif?
Good
Ooh.
question.
That's on you, Emma.
Well, once more, we thought about, the designs, even the character designs, they tell a story of their own.
Mhm.
And spiders, they mean something in a lot of different cultures. They have a lot of,
They certainly mean something. I wonder
they mean
what that
something,
something
yes.
is in this context.
but, it's like, it's to be discovered. With time, it will reveal itself.
Yeah. Besides, there's a lot of symbolisms hidden, but it also, depends on the sources you look at. We did not go
That's
for
true.
the most obvious ones, of course.
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah, that's an additional layer of deciphering for everyone to do. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Well, it would have been too easy if you just said yes, no,
Mhm.
yes, no. Like we
Mhm.
expected to be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
situation
any
to like
fun,
that,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Is the
So-
name also inspired by Victor Frankenstein, though?
So,
Okay.
Which you give
It's
to
Victorian
doctors?
name.
Which you give to doctors?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And also to vampires, by the way. It's very popular name for a vampire.
Yeah, I
could
would
be
think it would
anything.
make it would make a lovely name for a vampire doctor. Yeah, for sure.
Vampires don't really have hearts as well, so.
Hey, I'm seeing a
Okay.
pattern here. Maybe you
Yeah.
guys cracked the code.
Yeah, imagine all.
Okay. Imagine if everything is right, actually. This is
I'm
gonna be very
betting that
fun.
one thing is right, but there is just one thing, and they're not telling us which it is.
Yeah, you cannot see right now, but I'm sweating. I'm sweating. Oh my god.
Well, you cannot see me now as well, but I have the annoyed face. Like, come on, give me something. Give me something. Okay. As I said, maybe it's time to stop torturing you guys, or I don't know who tortures whom. Like, maybe you torture us as well. Maybe this is the right thing, to be honest. But we're moving to something like more pleasant to talk. So the response in your comment section was very positive. People have been calling your game beautiful, mysterious, and hoping to see more of it. So how does that feedback feel?
It's so very rewarding. We spend a lot of time on the demo, and to see people so happy and excited about it and like it, it just feels amazing. And it makes working on it feel even more fun, but also it's like, oh, we have to work on it because people are expecting, or they're waiting for it, and we want to bring it out there, but right now we're stuck, we cannot do it. So it's but most of all, it's just so exciting and amazing.
Yeah, it gives us some motivation to continue.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's also it was so unexpected because this is the first time we've ever done something like this. Honestly, I've never written a script prior to this before. Emma did not do any game sprites or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So we learned everything from scratch, and to see everyone so excited about it, it's very overwhelming but very rewardful. So
Yeah.
we're very thankful to everyone.
For sure, yeah.
I am very surprised that this is your first project, honestly. We've played a lot of visual novels, and you have something there.
Oh,
Thank you.
It
you
doesn't
know it.
show that it's a first-time project at all.
Wow. Thank you so much.
And I also have to ask, so you've been open about being students and balancing your studies with the development, but what's been the most challenging part of your journey?
Well, we mentioned it previously. It's mostly the time. It's the one thing keeping us away from working on the game. We would love to work on it every single day, but yeah, we simply do not get a chance to because the studies we have are very demanding, and definitely right now. So it's we just have to wait it out until it's over, and after that, we can hopefully start working more on it.
Yeah,
Okay, this might be a
understandable.
little bit of a personal question, but what are you studying exactly? So it requires game projects for your studies?
So we both study illustration, but within illustration, you have the opportunity to do like a mentorship, so you can like focus on your own project. And right now, we're doing a minor in game design and development. So we're actually also working on games, but we cannot work on our own game, which like feels so weird because you want to work on your own things.
Okay, you think that they'd allow you to work on your own game if it's...
Yes. Unfortunately,
it fits the thing, right?
Yeah, you would think so, but it's like it's in a big team of people.
I get why it's not like that because I've also had a minor in game development, and it was not even a minor. So my bachelor's degree was in design, and one of the side courses that are not mandatory was making games. So it was the same back then. They had some prerequisites of what they expect from you. You can't just go out and make your own thing, sadly.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah. It's the same here. Yeah, like we have to follow the guidelines that they have set up.
Yep.
And we work with a lot of other people, so it's unfortunately we cannot work on it. But we would love to.
Yeah, it's still an experience, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So Inês is an artist as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I switched to narrative design for this project, I guess.
How did
exploring
you
new waters?
Yeah, that's what my question is. How did you decide who's doing the drawing and who's doing the scripting?
I mean, just look at Emma's art. There's no way, that I would not let her be the artist. So I was like, no, there's no way you are not the artist. And I was just like, you know what? I do like, analyzing stories and reading novels and watching movies and just picking apart the plots. So I was like, I think I can do the narrative design. I think I can try to do that. So, yeah.
And I should say, Inês' art is adorable and amazing as well. So she will draw something for it. I will make her draw something for it because her art is also awesome. Like,
yes. Yes, feature. You should do something for the game as well.
Yeah, you know what is fun usually to see the same character drawn in different styles.
That is true. Yeah,
yes.
We're planning on doing something like that as well,
as a bonus to the game or something like that. That would be very nice. Did you draw your avatars?
Yes, I drew the avatars.
Yes, okay. Emma took care of it.
They're very cute, by the way.
Thank you.
I haven't seen them yet. I need to open them.
I will show you later.
Okay.
Because I keep the emails. So talking about school and workload, I wanted to ask you what has helped you stay motivated to continue development despite the workload.
I think it's for sure the community response that's like a really big part in like how what like makes us keep going. But also we just really love making games, and we want to do nothing more than just to see the project through. And we also have just a lot of passion for creating it. So that fuels everything.
And what's the plan for the future? Are you going to continue developing games after you finish this one?
Yeah, for sure. Like right now, the main goal is, of course, to finish this game. But the both of us have a lot of ideas for other video games, and we will for sure continue working on it. So even after this game, you will definitely see more from us.
That's great.
Then we're keeping in touch. I am very curious.
Yes. Who knows? You might feature again for the next project here.
That would be lovely. We would love to be back.
Yeah. Well, you better finish your game then. So we will. We can see if our theories were right.
Stop pressuring the game developers.
I am sorry. I am guilty. I tend to do that. I'm sorry.
It's tough love. It's we get it.
Yeah, I am that type of person. Morrig knows.
Yeah, she pressured me into being responsible. Yes. So, what's next for At the Heart of Blackberry Manor?
Well, hopefully a polished demo in the near future, and then afterwards the full release of the game, if the time allows. We're also currently working towards being more active on social media to keep everyone excited and on the loop of our slow but steady progress.
Yes, marketing. This is very important.
The thing everyone has to do, but no one likes doing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked a year at marketing. I don't want to do it again.
It's quite something.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Polish demo. You mean that this demo is not polished?
Well, yeah.
So-
Go ahead, Emma. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Well, there's still since the end of making the whole video game will take quite a while. We want update the demo so people have a little bit more to look at, so we can give a bit more. And we had a lot of plans for the original demo that we couldn't do because of the time constraints. So we would love to focus that, update the demo, so people have something new to look at. And that would be the final demo sort of thing. And then after that, we would have the whole game. So not. There will be an update in the near future, hopefully.
Okay, so there is going to be new content. It's not if you're you're not gonna polish the old stuff. You're just gonna add new stuff into the whole soup.
Yeah, somewhat. It's also the current demo doesn't even include any CGs or anything like that. So we would hope to add them as a little gift to everyone who has been supporting us. Hey, here's a a little update for you guys to so that you can see that we're still working on it, and it's not an abandoned project, basically.
Mm-hmm.
More like imagine the CGs these girls are gonna do.
Oh my god.
Just imagine. This is gonna be
I'd
amazing.
love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask, so you're basically going to do a demo and then the full release after the polishing the demo, of course. So you're not going to release it in chapters, right?
No, we want it to be a full release so that you can experience the story as a whole.
Yeah, I love that. I'm one of the people that binges his TV series, so I can I'm biased in favor of getting the whole thing out at once.
Yeah, same.
We might have been stepping into the spoiler territory again, but in your itch.io page, you've mentioned custom background music and illustration and feature builds. So can we expect more characters joining the story? Or maybe you can tell us how many routes are planned there or something?
So, yes, there will definitely be more characters to meet in the future. So please look forward to all of them. But as for the routes themselves, nothing is set in stone yet, so everything is still subject to change, and it will probably develop more once we continue developing the end game, or the second part of the game, basically.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I am expecting the Earl being one of those characters, to be honest. Not sure if I'm correct.
All right. We'll give you this. The Earl will have, he will also have a sprite. You will see him. So this is our, little gift to you, since we tortured you with all the no comments on the theories.
Yes, I'm so excited to draw the Earl. I have so many ideas. I'm so excited to draw him.
I consider this a win. I consider this as me begging my way into a bit of a spoiler.
You did it.
You did it.
Good job, Rory.
Okay, and I also wanted to ask, if you had unlimited time and budget, what would your dream version of the game look like?
Man, I mean, it would definitely feel more alive, I think. And by that, we mean adding animated sprites, maybe even animated cutscenes instead of just CGs, giving our characters a voice, maybe even hiring, a true composer who enhance the whole atmosphere with custom background music and sound effects, and even more than that, And honestly, maybe you'll see a couple of these in the future. I mean, a girl can always stream, right? So
I'd be very excited for at least partial voice acting. That sounds like
yeah.
Yes, we would love that.
Now talking about all of this stuff, why don't you run a Kickstarter campaign? Not Kickstarter campaign, come on, Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, we can be trusted, so I think it's more it wouldn't feel right to take the money of people and not be able to give a certain deadline on when we bring it out.
Yeah, especially considering we're still students, so it's very weird timing right now for us to be oh yeah, we can definitely work on the game. So we just don't want to have people give us their money and then have to wait so long. So hopefully once we're done with school and have like the time that we need to actually work on the full game, maybe then we'll consider doing a Kickstarter or whatever else there is. But for now, it's like, it's just, as Emma said, just too much of a responsibility, and it would be unfair almost, I think.
I understand those concerns. It's definitely, once you have one project out, it's almost...
It makes you trustworthy.
It makes you more trustworthy in the eyes of... And you can do it. Now you've confirmed it for yourself personally, so you trust yourself more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But also, I just wanted to mention that Kickstarter is a great way to market yourself.
That is
it's great for marketing.
Your campaign is going to be very successful due to the unique art style of the game. Really, for real, I think that the visual novel players will like fight to be backers for this. So, okay, I'm gonna try another attempt. Last one, I promise. So, for our listeners, it's not for me, it's for the listeners. Can you please give us a little secret? Maybe of an Easter egg? Or, I don't know, a detail that players could have missed?
So, we cannot tell you a lot because we really want to keep the mystery up. But all we can say is to look really closely to the backgrounds because you will find a lot hidden in plain sight. So we try to be careful on what we reveal. So because we really do not want to spoil the mystery. But with time, all will be revealed.
Yes.
Good. Now I'll have to replay the game. Amazing.
I'll be taking screenshots every 5 minutes.
Yes.
Well, that was our goal all along, so joke's on you.
You fooled us into doing exactly what.
Last question then. Do you have any final words for our listeners?
Well, just thank you so much for everyone that has supported our game thus far. We're truly, truly, truly thankful, like from the bottom of our hearts. This is amazing. This is so sweet of everyone. And if anyone hasn't played our game yet, please do. We would love for you to give us, your comments and theories as well. We're very much looking forward to everything.
Yes, and thank you so much for interviewing us. That truly means a lot. It's awesome. I never thought we could get interviewed, so it's so cool. And thank you for the amazing time. It was great talking to you guys. You guys are so sweet.
No, you. It was great time for us as well. Thank you for being our guest on our podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you as well. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your world with us today.
And to everyone listening, please go play at the Heart of Blackberry Manor. It's available now on Otome.com website and on itch.io.com. Leave a review and show some love to Whisper Wisteria Studios. They deserve it.
You've been listening to Lovers Lens and Morik from the Otome.com podcast.
Until next time, may your heart find warmth in even the coldest corners.